In March of 2020, when school went remote, we decided to try to do a mechanical engineering project online. Students would design machines that they would like to have in their rooms. We would fabricate the parts and ship them to them. The first step was to get good at SketchUp, a popular 3D CAD program. The prompt was to design your dream house or someplace you'd rather be. This seemed to capture the students' imagination, and they got pretty good at it pretty quickly. Next, we learned about gears, gear ratios, and torque using geargenerator.com. Projects would use these small barbecue gear motors we found on eBay. They turn about 8 revolutions per minute. Using a mechanical drawing of the motor, students were able to create a SketchUp motor component that exactly matched the motor's dimensions. The other materials included 3/8 inch dowels, small axle flanges that fit the dowels, and 5mm plywood underlayment, which cuts easily on a laser cutter. We began to sketch and brainstorm. Some students preferred to sketch on paper, others preferred to sketch on screen. One student who had access to a basement woodshop sketched in 3D. Once we finalized our designs, we started building in SketchUp. This was an iterative process with a lot of repeats because everything had to be perfect. Students would only have one chance to get everything in the mail and make it work. Shown here is a motorized blueberry catapult.
The arm itself and the spoon portion of the arm are now two separate components which attach here.
Once their SketchUp models were complete and approved, students laid out all the components on a single plane in preparation for laser cutting. Back at the shop, we laser cut the parts and more or less put things together to make sure they would work. As part of the documentation, students filmed the unboxing of their parts. Even with all our planning, more improvisation was necessary.
So I found some picture hanging nails, some really thin ones, in my garage and nailed those in for some extra security. Blueberry in. Okay, we're undoing it, and then yes!
One student designed a machine that would return the basketball to him after each shot.
Basically, I would attach the motor to this metal piece that would be spinning continuously, make contact with the back of this board, which would be connected to a hinge and a circular little bar across, and so it can rotate front and back.
Another student designed a car that, when pulled back, wound up a spring such that it would shoot forward when you let it go. He started with a sketch, then made a model, and then modeled in SketchUp. His machine had a lot of moving parts. Here it is at the unboxing, and looked great when he put it together. But he had a problem.
Like the back axle connecting to the back wheels kept on breaking. Even though I tried using glue and super glue and then I taped it, there was just too much pressure because there's a lot of.
This is something we could have fixed in about 10 minutes in the shop. Here you can see the gears actually worked. One student designed an emergency room ventilator for COVID patients. He was inspired by a movement he'd seen on YouTube that turned rotational motion into reciprocal motion.
I could have this rack move back and forth and pump and release this bag.
Here's the parts file ready to be laser cut. For strength, he used plexiglass.
Here's the rack that you can see, and then this is the gear, which you can see a lot better, how it has only teeth on the top, and then this inner gear, which connects to the gear, connects to the motor. So I built this little bracket, and I just popped a nail into it, and that I thought would hold this gear in place enough, but it didn't. It still has a little bit of give, and that's just enough to make it not work. So if I was in the shop, I could redesign this bracket and cut these gears to make it a bit of a tighter fit, but unfortunately I can't do that. If it did work, the way I would finish this design, like you saw in the 3D model, I would have a wall here, and the bag would go here, and like I showed you earlier, it would just move back and forth and pump this bag.
Another student designed a continuous motorized marble run.
Hey everyone, I'm Kelvin Navarre. I'm a senior, and this is the Mesmerizer, and it's a machine I created with a motor in my design engineering class.
This student started with a cardboard model of his electric boat. He then modeled it in SketchUp and generated a parts file. Here's what it looked like in the shop.